for a long
I
time.
think about too, looking back at like jobs I had, and I've always been really self-motivated and invested in my job, even when I was not
Mhm.
really enjoying it a whole lot. But you think about some of the employees you had that, and all the time they wasted and
Mhm.
stealing from the company and everything else that goes along with that. I mean, that's across the board, whether you work at, Walmart or, on, Wall Street or something. There's those people taking advantage like that. And I think that's one thing that scares me too. If even if you have staff under your feet or you have staff far away, I think I'd always be paranoid about, are they using their time most efficiently? So
Mhm.
is that something either one of y'all have struggled with or had to deal with?
I actually just had a conversation with my two guys because I didn't see a whole lot of progress happening on some of the projects, and I had to just sort of send them a message and say, like, are you guys, am I giving you guys enough work, or is there something, maybe I'm not giving you guys the resources you guys need. Maybe you guys are, maybe I'm giving you copy, but it's not, the copy, the format that you guys need it in, or maybe I'm not giving you guys the copy on time. Is there anything that I can do to kind of push things along? And they seem to basically, like, the workload is fine. It's just a matter of like trying to get through. And I think like you said, Kyle, it's just when people aren't as invested, it's, they're not going to be as motivated, right? I was exactly like you. Like every single job I've ever had, I started at the bottom and I always went, like, finished out on top because I was always super motivated. I just pushed myself, and it was like my company. Every company that I ever worked for was mine,
Right.
and that's just the way that I've always been. And so I think you can obviously expect other people to be that way. The way that I look at it, right? I, my ultimate goal, if I was to tell you where I am, where I was a month or 2 months ago, where I wanted to be in 3 or 4 months, and where I wanted to be in 6 months, I would have told you a month or two ago that I needed to get a few people to help me in order to really start pushing more work through the door. That's sort of where I am now. If you would have asked me where I wanted to be in 6 months, I would have told you that I would have wanted to be very close, if not at where Paul is at, where I have one or two people permanently with me, and maybe we had like a little small office or something. And the reason why I've done it this way is because there's less risk for me as a business owner, right? Um, I can, if the overseas workers that I have working with me, I could always switch them out if I wanted to. If it wasn't working out, I could always hire another one on. It costs me less money to have even three designers on board than to have one full-time staff here where I am, right? Because the salary expectations are a lot different. So there's less risk there. So where it really, the trade-off happens is there's less risk, but there's a lot more management. And so I knew that going into it. And so I've prepared myself, and I've really set some time aside to really be able to make sure that I have the time to manage those resources. But the ultimate goal is to hire somebody, because like I said, like, there's nothing, you can't compare to just sitting in front of somebody with somebody and talking about a project. Not just that, but like if I have a designer and they're with me here, if let's say, for example, that there's a part of the copy that I sent them that they didn't really understand and they didn't really know how to interpret that into the design, like, they can just ask me, like, hey Chris, they could just shoot me, like, they could just like throw something at me and get my attention, ask me a question, and then that's it, right? Or just pick up the phone and call. It's usually not that difficult. But when you have such a time difference and all this other stuff, it becomes really, really hard to even get those little tiny clarifications through. And there's that communication is really the biggest bottleneck, right?
And
So
and you don't know too, like, you don't know how many other projects they're working on or how
no,
many other people they're working for, and you, even if they were or weren't, it's really none of your business or nothing you can
yeah,
control.
yeah. But ideally, I mean, like, yeah, you're 100% right about that. And I know for a fact that they probably do have other project work that they take on. I don't, like you said, I don't really care, but it's just more of a matter of like, I just need to make sure that the projects keep progressing at a steady rate. But like I said, like, there's nothing like actually having somebody there who's only dedicated to your particular business. They're on with you full time. They're invested at that point. They're more invested in your business than anybody could ever be, if you hire them offshore. So that's definitely the next stage. And I think when you get to that point, there's probably going to be, for me, I would anticipate having a full-time maybe designer, and then maybe having like a VA that's offshore to help manage some of the less important stuff, and then eventually hire two full-time staff. So that's kind of the way. It's kind of like just leveraging these like online or VA or offshore resources, because like it really, I think it could really help as stepping stones, right? I don't think at all that it's a sustainable thing though.